If you're new to Dungeons & Dragons, now is a great time to try to avoid spending too much money on the hobby. There are a couple good reasons for this. Firstly, there's a new edition coming out in 2024. D&D is currently on its 5th edition that released in 2014, and in 2024 we should be getting a 5.5 edition or a 6th edition, who knows what it'll be called. While it likely won't be drastically different, if you buy $90 to $120 worth of books right now, you're going to find that in about a year they're no longer the new hotness, and people will be moving on to play something else. To some people that matters, to some people it doesn't. They're still playing 1st edition or 2nd edition and have been for years and will continue to for years, and that's fine. But it's something I think newcomers should definitely be aware of. Another thing you might not be aware of if you're new to the game is that the makers of D&D, Wizards of the Coast, have come under a lot of scrutiny lately for some less savory business practices. Back in January and December, about 8-9 months ago, there was a big scandal involving their changes to the open gaming license. Now, they rescinded a whole bunch of those changes and everything seems to be okay now. It depends who you ask. Anyway, a lot of people felt they were being really disingenuous, dishonest. You can find more information on that up in the video that I'll link right up there from January, and I will also put a link to a more updated article in the video description. If you're a discerning consumer who likes to know about the businesses you're supporting, I would recommend you check that information out. There are a whole lot of other problems people have with Wizards of the Coast, but I'll leave it there for now. That's a good summary because I want to focus on how you can play D&D for free. Now, if you've watched some of my new to D&D sorts of videos, you notice I definitely often recommend the starter sets. And I will say before we get to the free stuff, those are still a good value. You can get them for 15 or 20 bucks nowadays. I've got a couple of them on the shelf back there. And if you really want your resources in print, not digital like most of the free stuff I will be mentioning, and if you don't have a set of dice yet, they're actually a really good option for you. However, the free stuff. At the heart of playing Dungeons and Dragons for free, you're gonna have the free basic rules. You can either download a PDF, which is 180 pages, and includes kind of a limited version of what you might find in the Player's Handbook, Monster Manual, and Dungeon Master's Guide. You're going to have fewer race and class options, fewer subclasses, fewer spells, etc. But it's gonna give you a whole lot of material for free, and you can really honestly play D&D forever with just that free basic rules PDF. However, if you don't mind signing up for a D&D Beyond account, you can actually have access to a much more robust free basic rule set. I didn't realize this until recently, but the D&D Beyond basic rules do include all of the classes and races and subclasses you'll find in the Player's Handbook. A lot more spells, a lot more monsters, a lot more magic items. So you can sign up for an account for free, and then you can just have access to those rules in your browser or on the app on a tablet or smartphone. I know a lot of people don't like being in their online ecosystem, but it actually has grown on me over the years. While I don't pay for it, I do use it a lot because it's so easy to search for rules and it's just really well indexed. Now, it's worth mentioning that if you're watching this after the release of the new edition, they probably will have a free basic rules set for the new edition as well. I can't imagine they won't, so it's worth looking into that. All right, now before we get to the free D&D adventures, which is the next section of our free stuff, I do want to mention our sponsor for this video, Into the AM. Into the AM makes really cool shirts like this one that I'm wearing right here. They have tons of great designs that will have you showing up to game night in style. I love the variety. There's so many cool designs, the vibrant colors, but the thing I honestly appreciate most about them is the fit. I have honestly never had shirts that fit me so well. Now, they did send me a few free shirts, but since then, after trying them on, they kind of spoiled me for all my other shirts. I have a hard time wearing any of my other shirts now because they just don't fit as well. So I went ahead and I ordered like 6 or 7 more on my own, and yeah, I just can't get enough of them. I love the colorful designs, but I also really like just this basic tee. It's just really simple and stylish, and I've got this shirt in 3 different colors. They also have hats, hoodies, and other apparel, so I definitely recommend you check them out. And they do have a discount for my viewers, 10% off your order if you use that link down in the video description. All right, now let's talk about the free D&D adventures. First off, on D&D Beyond, The Lost Mine of Phandelver is now absolutely free. This is the adventure that came with the original D&D starter set, and I think it's really great. It's my recommended starting point if you have a new group, and it is the longest of these adventures. It runs from level 1 through 5. The other free adventures I'm mentioning here are not nearly as long. This one might be, I don't know, 5 or 10 sessions, I'm not really sure. Whereas I think the other ones I'm mentioning are usually 1 or 2. The Lost Mine of Phandelver has a nice little encounter to start things off, then you get into a dungeon. It's got a really nice town for doing some about town stuff. It's a bit on the linear side, but I like that it just has a lot of the iconic D&D things. There are also a ton of great resources out there for it because it's so popular, so you can find YouTube guides with tips for running the adventure. You can find digital battle mats and digital tokens, all kinds of stuff out there for the Lost Mine of Phandelver. Now, on D&D Beyond, there are also some other free adventures that are a little bit smaller for sure. One of them is called Frozen Sick, and it's a 3rd level adventure. There's Prisoner 13, which is a 4th level adventure. And there is Giants of the Starforge, which is a 16th level adventure. So yeah, that one gets up there. High level play gets a little complicated. Not great for new players. If you're not wanting to go the D&D Beyond route, there are also some free adventures on the DMs Guild that are worth checking out. The DMs Guild is a great website for third-party publishers of D&D adventures. There's one called The Secrets of Skyhorn Lighthouse, which is probably the most popular one that I saw. It's a 5th level adventure. They estimate it'll take 5 to 7 hours to complete, so probably about 2 sessions for most groups. It gets great reviews, go check it out. Another one is A Wild Sheep Chase, also seems pretty popular. This one is a 4th or 5th level adventure. And if you scroll down to the bottom of the page on any of these free adventures, you'll find a lot of other free suggestions, just popular free modules. So you can look at those, read the reviews, see what people are saying about them, and you might want to check them out. Now, if you have other suggestions, I definitely welcome them. Put them down in the comments below. I honestly thought I would find a lot more, but I did find one other source that looked kind of cool. There's a website called Adventure Awaits. They have a Patreon, and you can definitely get some paid adventures, but they also have some free ones. The art is decent. They come with some simple maps, looks like probably dungeon draft maps, but the adventures are quite short and pretty simplistic overall. So anyway, they're free, they look decent, they might be worth checking out. Lastly, dice. Now, you can get a set of dice for $5 or $10 at your local game shop. You can buy a big pack of dice for cheaper on Amazon if you are willing to buy a bit in bulk, one set for each member of your group or something. But if you are really committed to playing absolutely for free, you can totally just look up RPG dice rollers in your browser. They have a dice roller on D&D Beyond, or on your smartphone, just go to the App Store, look for RPG dice, and you'll find a whole lot of free options that will definitely do the job. So, playing D&D for free is really quite easy. There are a lot of great resources out there, but I do want to mention some other alternatives to D&D that are worth taking a look at that are completely free. One of them that's quite popular right now is Cairn. This is a free PDF. It is an old school Renaissance style game, which is a game that's trying to rekindle the feel of kind of late 70s, early 80s D&D. They're pretty popular right now, and this one weighs in at a very light 24 pages. It gives you everything you need to play the game in 24 pages. So if the idea of reading a 180-page rule book is a little intimidating for you, granted, you don't have to read the whole thing, a book like this does seem a lot more approachable for newcomers to the hobby. In addition, if that seems a little bit on the light side, there are tons of other great free resources out there for OSR games. So if you want to beef those rules up a little bit, add more monsters, more magic items and stuff, you can find so much stuff out there. Cairn is a D20 roll under system, which is the opposite of D&D, where you're trying to roll higher and try to beat a target number. The nice thing about a roll under system, even though it might seem kind of backwards, is that you don't have to do any math. You are just rolling that D20, and the higher your ability score, the easier it's going to be to roll under your ability score. So if I have a 14 in strength, that's going to be better than a 10 in strength because it's easier to roll under a 14. Anyway, the game has a beautiful character sheet. I really do like it, and it's pretty simple in terms of 3 abilities: strength, dex, and will. Again, the advantage of playing an OSR game is that there are way more free resources for OSR style games than there are for D&D 5th edition. I'll put a link to Cairn's website where you can find a bunch of adventures, many of which are free. Another great free game is Ironsworn by Sean Tompkin. This game won the Gold Ennie for Best Free Product in 2019, and it weighs in at a robust 270 pages. So Sean has given a whole lot away for free here. The core rulebook is really nicely laid out. It has some decent art, but this system is going to deviate from the core mechanics of Dungeons & Dragons. The things you're doing in terms of adventuring might be very similar, but this one is based on the Powered by the Apocalypse game engine. You have a list of moves that you can do, and I believe you're resolving actions with a roll of 2d10. Here's the character sheet. You can see that there are 5 stats at the top of the sheet here. Anyway, I won't get into too much detail, but it does come with a setting, pretty classic kind of Northern European Viking feel with a little more international vibe to it, I would say. Anyway, great game. Huge community that's very passionate about it, so I definitely recommend you check out Ironsworn if you're up for something a little more robust. Oh, one more thing. It also has rules for GM-less play and solo play, so that's kind of cool and unique. Lastly, I'll put some other free games up on the screen here, and if you want to pause and read a little more about them, you can do that. And if you have any other suggestions, I welcome them down in the comments below. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. I also want to thank the WASD 20 patrons for their support. These people support the channel on a monthly basis, and I couldn't do what I do without them. They also get some pretty cool rewards, things like map drawing streams with me and other behind the scenes videos. So check it all out over at patreon.com/WASD20. All right, thanks so much, everybody. Take care. You'll see me again very soon.